So if you watch my videos on Puppet Master 1 and 2, I think that they're okay in terms of horror movies. Like, they have cool designs for the puppets, cool kills, but the story, I thought, in the first two is really just lacking, just boring, and nothing that pulls me in besides the fact that the puppets have cool designs and the kill scenes are cool in the first two Puppet Master movies. But rewatching Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge, this, like, I'm gonna rewatch them all, of course, but God, I forgot how great this one was, honestly. This is actually a really good horror movie. Like, it surprised me in how different this was than the first two in terms of being, like, this story is way more interesting and way more, like, I cared way more for these characters. Like the kills a lot. The kills are great. The puppets are great. Like, there's cool new additions like Six Shooter, which continues to stay in the franchise throughout the whole franchise. But that's so cool that this movie in particular is a prequel to the first two. It's in World War II, in 1941. So it's interesting the fact that it's killer puppets versus Nazis. I think that is awesome. That is really fun. That was a really cool idea. Like, I really think that it works on those levels to make this very entertaining and way more entertaining than the first two. Like I said, it starts in 1941 Berlin, and Toulon does the puppet shows, which continues from part two whenever they showed that flashback of him in Egypt. And I really like the guy who plays Toulon in this, Guy Rolfe, because William Hickey, I think, played him in the first one, briefly, like at the beginning of the first Puppet Master. But Guy Rolfe in this movie, who was also in Dolls, which is another awesome full moon movie you should go see. I think it's full moon, yeah. It's awesome. I love Dolls. But Guy Rolfe in this movie is honestly he has a really good performance in this type of movie. And not to say below budget movies like this don't have good performances, but I didn't think the first two Puppet Master movies did have anything that meant good performances. I thought everybody was either okay in the first two Puppet Master movies, or just the acting was just not very great, but it wasn't terrible. Nothing was terrible about the first two, just very lacking. And in this one, Guy Rolfe is really, like, his acting and the character Toulon, you feel sympathy for him. You really understand why this guy goes out for revenge. Well, that's why it's called Toulon's Revenge. But he goes out on revenge because the Nazis kill Elsa, his wife. And it's so cool in this movie that they have Leech Woman back, because she died in the second one. But this is a prequel, so she can come back. And I liked how she comes back and they make this normal looking doll, and then Elsa dies, and then he uses the magic serum, or the magic liquid that created the puppets, and he uses it on that puppet that's like kind of like Elsa's reincarnated, and puts a leech in her mouth, and then her normal looking doll face becomes this creepy looking doll face, which is what you know Leech Woman looks like. But I love the fact that this movie describes that Toulon created these puppets from people who died horribly during this time period. All of the puppets that he made in this movie are people, literal people in the movie that have died in horrible ways, and he brought them back in a way to exact revenge and to give them a second chance at life in a way. And that, again, that's really cool, because it describes really well how this Andre Toulon guy is not like you would imply in the first two movies, that he's this dastardly evil guy in a way, but I don't know, you might not either, because the puppets it depends on who controls the puppets, because they could be bad or good, and in the fourth and fifth one they're good, so. But I don't know but it's funny that Andre Toulon is just such a sympathetic character in this. Like, he loses his wife immediately. He goes after all these Nazis who are experimenting on people too, and I love the fact that you don't have to draw a fine line between if this guy is evil or not, because I feel like I don't know, I don't condone violence or killing, but like, I feel like it works because this character is fighting revenge, and his puppets, who are reincarnated people who died in World War II, are exacting revenge on these Nazis for killing them. Like, I think that's just a cool idea, and the coolest idea in the franchise so far, rewatching him. But I really did enjoy Guy Rolfe. He's really great in this movie. Really likable, really sympathetic. And like I said, it becomes a great revenge film. And then he still is a good person in a way, because he's helping out these two Jewish fugitives, Peter and his dad, in the movie, who we met earlier in the movie. And even though the dad, of course, gives up Toulon's location, I like the fact that Toulon still has likability and like a niceness, like a bit of humanity to him, like the way that he helps out these two people who are Jewish fugitives too. Like, he is not evil in the way like I would have expected from the first two movies. And I don't even know about necessarily evil, like I said, because whoever controls the puppets, they can be good or bad, but Toulon, he didn't get much of a backstory in the first two movies. So in this, I really liked it. I liked seeing his backstory. It's really great. And I thought the kills in this were really gnarly, like really awesome. Even though the kills that are done in the first two movies, they're still awesome here. Like Leech Woman, like dropping leeches on people in their mouths and on their faces. Like, that's really fun. And then like Pinhead, or not Pinhead, Tunneler going and just drilling through a Nazi's chest and going out of his chest. Like, the effects are really good in this, even though I'm watching it the DVD with a VHS quality. Which kind of bugs me, and I'm not opposed to VHS quality, but if it's a VHS, I would have preferred it to look like I'm watching them on the DVD collection, and they should be DVD quality, and I'm not saying that it's bad to watch it in VHS quality. I just feel like whatever quality it is, it should be that quality. Like DVD, it should be DVD quality, not VHS quality. So it was hard sometimes to be able to tell some things, but for the most part, the effects look good. It was just kind of quote-unquote blurry because I feel like they just ripped off the VHS copies onto a DVD, which, like I said, if I was watching a VHS, then I'd be totally fine watching it in that quality, but I would rather watch it a little bit better on DVD, just because sometimes there are times on VHS where it's like you can't really tell some effects because it gets blurry, and that's obvious what it is. It's that type of technology, so... But I really thought the effects were really cool from what I saw, and I really enjoyed them. And I thought the puppets, again, are awesome. Six Shooter is another cool addition, just like Torch from the last one. This is a cool looking puppet. Like he's creepy looking because he's got this big creepy smile and he's got 6 arms. He's a 6-shooter, and that's just really fun. And I like how he continues throughout the franchise later, like the rest of these. And I liked how the ending of this one didn't end on a cliffhanger like the last two. I like that this didn't have to, like, you literally could watch this and it could bridge into the first one, because at the very end, Toulon and Peter are going to Switzerland, like escaping Poland and trying to get out of here, like to live, and they're getting on the train, and then there's the ending shot. It's just like a picture that falls down of a newspaper, just saying, like, a newspaper article saying that Toulon's needs to be captured, and that's it. And I like that you could literally watch the end of this one and then watch the first one, and it'd be like, oh, he went to the Bodega Bay Hotel, and then that's where the first one starts. I think that's really cool continuity connection between this one and the first one. And like I said, not like in the first two movies where they end on a cliffhanger that doesn't really get resolved, although I hear from another YouTuber that watches my videos that the resolution in the first Puppet Master is resolved in, like, Legacy, but like, I don't know, like, it's weird that these movies, the first two at least, don't have, like, they have cliffhangers that are either not resolved or resolved way later in the franchise. So I don't know, I liked how this one bridged the gap really well. You just go into this one, and then the end of the movie, you can go to the first one. That's a really cool connection. So overall, this one really, really honestly surprised me watching it again because it was so fun and so entertaining, but it had such a sympathetic main character who is a kind of villain in a way, but he's got such reasonings to be like this. Like, it's not like he's an absolute evil bad guy. Like, he's fighting Nazis, and his puppets, who are reincarnated from other people, are killing for revenge from these Nazis for killing them. Like, it draws a cool line where it's like, should they be doing this? Should they not be doing this? I really like that type of movie, and for a horror movie, that's really cool. And I don't know if I can say this yet, but I feel like this is probably my favorite. Definitely over the first two. But I need to rewatch the rest of the franchise, but a lot of them after like the fifth or sixth one get pretty bad. So I don't know. But overall, as of now, this is my favorite. But if I watch the rest of them and say something different, I'll feel different about it. But so far, this one's my favorite. Really enjoyed this. This is a great, surprising rewatch.